Hey guys, well, it's Too Far Tuesday. My live show got shut down, so I am coming at you for another Out of Breath Arm Sore Packer Minute, the show where I walk around the neighborhood talking about the Packers, and you watch to see if I get offloaded into the afterlife by a cargo van. And yes, today is Too Far Tuesday, and I have been fielding all kinds of questions. The live show was not able to go today, so maybe we'll just talk about it for a minute. So far, the response to the Atlanta Falcons game has been crazy, guys. So far, we've got that we need to immediately, to save this team, here's what we need to do. I'm going to compile all the ideas that have been thrown my way, because obviously, if they're all good ideas, why not just lump them all together? Let's just do them all at once. Let's get this team fixed. So to do that, what do? Well, first, we promote Brett Hundley to the starting quarterback position immediately. Let's do that right now, because he had such a great preseason and has shown himself to be Hall of Fame caliber. He will certainly throw 300 touchdown passes faster than Aaron Rodgers, even though Aaron Rodgers did it way, way faster than anyone has ever done it. So let's promote Brett Hundley, the backup, to the starting position here on Too Far Tuesday. The second thing we got to do, of course, because we trade Aaron Rodgers now. And again, I'm compiling these from the ideas that were sent to me this week. I just want to make that abundantly clear. So we need to package up Clay Matthews and Aaron Rodgers and trade them off, which means we then have to promote Callahan off the practice squad. Hey, how you doing? Promote Callahan off the practice squad, because we can't run a roster of 46 actives without two quarterbacks. We know what happens when that goes down. Although Brett Hundley certainly has Hall of Fame written all over him, so that probably wouldn't be necessary. But, so what we get out of that, because we've got to promote Brett Hundley, or promote Callahan now, is that we have a total of one player we can add to the roster, which maybe we get it in the trade deal. So, but the problem is there's never any name for who we're going to get that's going to save this team. So we get nobody, basically. So now we just promote another practice squad player up. We have Brett Hundley as our starter, and we have Callahan as our backup, and we're ready. Or for some, I didn't hear this week, so I need to preface with that. But for some, maybe Callahan first, but I've heard Hundley. Then what we need to do is fire Coach McCarthy, fire Dom Capers, and fire Ted Thompson. And let's just get it done this week. I mean, this is the time. It's week 2. I mean, the sky is falling. Our season is over. We lost to the best team in the NFC, who is really the best team in football, even though they found a way to blow it in the Super Bowl after putting 28 points on the board with Alfred's pick 6, who also got the best of Aaron Rodgers. And so big surprise when he got the best of Tom Brady as well. So this is what we need to do. So what we're going to be going into Cincinnati with, if we want to fix this team here on Too Far Tuesday, is we are going to go in with no head coach, because no one gave any idea as to which head coach would replace Mike McCarthy and solve all these problems. So we just won't have one. We won't have a defensive coordinator as well, because no one who wants to fire Dom Capers has, unless the only name I heard, and nobody mentioned it this week, but the only name I heard was Rex Ryan. We've heard this millions of times in the past. So I'll even give you that one, even though no one actually had any solution in mind. So we bring in Rex Ryan. So we have no head coach. We have Rex Ryan. We have Brett Hundley as our starter. And if we just do that, we have no defensive coordinator. Rex Ryan, our defensive coordinator, being absolutely brand new. We have no Clay Matthews, who had a sack and a half. He had 2 sacks in the game against Atlanta, but that's not good enough. So we trade him off. We trade Aaron Rodgers off. We can't get any people back on the roster. Maybe one guy, but there's no name to that. So here we go, guys. We are ready to defeat Cincinnati on Too Far Tuesday. I have helped you put together the winning combination, the winning formula. This from Packer Nation, guys. So yeah, we put it in perspective, guys, and I think we all just need to step away from the ledge just for a moment. Coach McCarthy said he looked over at the bench during the Atlanta Falcons game, and there were 10 guys on the bench injured in this game at one time. We had no starting tackles. We had 2 players at the tackle position on offense starting their first games. Murphy starting for the first time at left tackle, and McCray starting for the first time at right tackle. The sky is not falling, people. We had no Mike Daniels within the first series. We had no Mike Daniels, which a 3-4 defense is predicated on. That nose tackle, D-tackle position like Mike Daniels is absolutely critical. We lost him early in the game. We lost Devon House in this game. We had Jordy Nelson go out in this game. We had Randall Cobb go out in this game with the shoulder. He was later and had a major impact in the meantime. And Aaron Rodgers looked a little bit shaken up and a little discombobulated, and our offensive line didn't look good. Wow, that's a shocker. So it's Too Far Tuesday. We just got to roll with it. But hey, this Bengals team coming to town, guys, we're going to be okay. Don't worry. We're going to be fine. We just have to get healthy. The biggest worry is the injury situation and the fact that it has cropped up so early in the season. It started before the season began, and we've been for 2 years at least now protecting our guys in the preseason, trying to keep them healthy, and it just has not seemed to work yet. So that's the biggest concern for me. So let's go over these injuries. We know Mike Daniels right now. We are fairly confident that his hamstring injury is a minor hamstring injury. That doesn't say anything about whether he's going to play on Sunday or not. Same thing with Jordy Nelson. His quad injury has been described as a minor quad injury. Again, he's been described as sort of 50-50 to play on Sunday. But long term, guys, we got to think long term. We got to keep these guys, let them get healthy, let them be 100% before we throw them back out on the field. Now, Cincinnati's coming to town. I think some of the things, in the fact that we had such an ugly loss to Atlanta, some of the good stuff is just really getting missed. You know, especially after Daniels went out. I mean, our defense after Daniels went out, you know, Clay Matthews went out and did what he could. He was doing it oftentimes, and so was Perry, against his cousin, the other Matthews, who is a very, very good left tackle. They have a good line. We knew it wasn't going to be a heyday, and seeing Mike Daniels go out, man, it's a recipe for disaster not having Daniels in this game. And what we saw, I wouldn't call it a disaster. I would call it ugly, however. I don't think there's any sugarcoating that part of it. But guys, we're going to be okay. The trouble is, who are we going to have available for this coming week? I think within 2 weeks we'll be all right. We've got a mid-season bye that's going to help us out, it might have been better early, but I still like it in the middle of the season. But this team needs to get healthy. In the meantime, I've got to expect we're going to be missing some significant players yet again against Cincinnati. And I'm going to be honest, having watched what we did at Atlanta, a lot of people think the sky is falling. Personally, I think we can get it done against Atlanta, even if we're missing Daniels. I think we can get it done against against Cincinnati, even if we're missing Jordy Nelson in this game. Geronimo Allison came in, made a couple nice catches. You know, this is coming back off the suspension. He had a week where he couldn't practice with the team, couldn't play on Sunday, and he came in and was able to make a couple of catches. Randall Cobb, I think, is the big one. He was a big performer in Sunday night's matchup against Atlanta, and I think we're going to need him on the field. But guys like Trevor Davis, guys like Jeff Janis have to step up. I think the key, though, for us, regardless of what our wide receiver position looks like, is our offensive line. We need to get at least one of our tackles back for this game, and I think that's going to happen. There hasn't been much said about Bakhtiari's injury. He was limited in practice and then held out of the game. So it was a very interesting situation there. I think we'll get him back. Hopefully we get both of them back. But Brian Bulaga, you know, he had the illness as well on top of the ankle. We just got to make sure he's healthy and fully hydrated and ready to play a full game. To me, I would expect that might be a little bit doubtful and maybe a little bit too much to ask of a guy that was hoping to play, willing to come in crunch time, but just wasn't able to go. After an illness like that, dehydration is a big problem. So I'm not expecting Bulaga, but I am kind of leaning toward the expectation that David Bakhtiari will be able to get back to the left tackle position and help this team out, because I think we're going to need him. If that's the case, I think Aaron's backside gets protected better against Cincinnati, even though guys like Geno Atkins, they got some good defensive players out there. They've prided themselves on defense for a long time. But I think if we can get Bakhtiari back, we'll be all right. I look for Ty Montgomery to have another big game. Contrary to popular belief, he had a very big game. Was it crucial to our chances, crucial to what amounted to almost some kind of a comeback, or at least what's been termed making it respectable by the end of the game. And I think he has another big one. We're looking at over 100 yards combined. I'm fairly confident in this game. One of the troubles we had on defense, and this again starts up front with Mike Daniels being absent, was you know, gap fits on the backside in the run game are incredibly important, and we struggled with them. Got to get that short up. We have to figure out what went wrong with the nitro package. Still unable, even with lighter, faster guys, unable to fill on the backside and unable to bring down the running backs. And we know Freeman and Coleman are as good as it gets out there. It's not going to be a step up when we play Cincinnati at Lambeau. However, when you're looking at guys like Giovanni Bernard and Joe Mixon as well, who's a name we'll all be familiar with from this off-season, the rookie coming in. These are guys we're going to have to square up and get to the ground. We're going to have to be doing some gang tackling. Andy Dalton not looking incredibly good right now, and if we can get him shaken up early, I think we can take this one. So, all right, well, there's some early thoughts on a Too Far Tuesday. I thought I would just bring this to you today. We will be back again tomorrow to talk more about this big-time matchup. You know, Wednesday is time to turn the page. We'll have the injury report coming in, and we'll be able to talk about that, hopefully with some more information about what the status of our starters is going to be for the game Sunday against Cincinnati. So we'll talk to you then, and as always, go Pack, go.
Packer Nation worldwide.